Energy Media readers, while you're accustomed to seeing my handsome face on Zoom videos all the time, for the past year we've been using it, Zoom has really taken off during the period of the COVID-19 quarantine. And that has presented all sorts of challenges for parents working from home. And to talk to us today, we're going to be speaking with Professor Tanya Broesch from Simon Fraser University. So welcome to the interview, Tanya.
Thanks for having me.
Now, what are some of the challenges that parents are faced when they're working from home and yet they've still got, children in the house, either homeschooling or they're maybe under school age and need a lot of attention? What are the challenges?
Well, I think in today's times, parents have had, challenges all along in terms of especially parents, when you have two parents who are working and small children at home or children in general, or even with one parent working, one parent at home. The challenges are significant. We live in, busy times. The world took a pause and people are slowing down. But that balance that we've been trying to achieve all along, things have really tipped. The scales have tipped. And so I think it's extremely challenging now for parents to try to maintain that balance. So all along they've had to balance, a busy work schedule with, kids' activities, maintaining the household, and now they're homeschooling their kids, so they have all this extra pressure on top of it. So homeschooling their kids, right, being the perfect parent, yes, social comparisons play in there, and of course maintaining their own well-being. So to do all of that while working full-time jobs with kids, and kids are, especially as you get younger and younger. We don't have the same social supports that we had. So before we had all of these supports, you have, of course you have childcare, that's removed. We have parks and playgrounds removed essentially. Right at the moment I'm in Nova Scotia and we're encouraged just to walk around our neighborhood and that's really it. And you can't take them to indoor, play areas and stuff like that. So parents are really limited in what they can do with kids. I think maintaining that balance is really difficult during this time.
What are some of the things that parents can do to deal with those challenges?
Well, I think there are a number of things that the society can do. I think parents are one key player on the equation, and also employers and society in general. So I think employers really should be asking questions to the individuals. Just coming from my perspective, I think that they should ask them, if they're caring for others at home, if they're caring for small children or elderly or anyone, how many hours can they be expected to work, right? If you have a parent at home with babies or small children, how many hours can they actually work in a work day? And asking them, about their well-being. We can't ask questions about mental health specifically, but checking in with people and seeing if they're okay. As an individual, I think that people need to communicate, right? Communicate whether or not you're able to fulfill those same commitments. Because this is, we're under extreme circumstances. And I think that it's okay to communicate the difficult circumstances that people are faced with on an individual level.
Now, one of the things I've noticed personally, and this is just anecdotal, of course, but as I was mentioning earlier, we do a lot of Zoom interviews with people all over North America and some in Europe. And the etiquette for these interviews has changed. I'm seeing, and people are talking about it before we get into the interview. They say, well, look, now I'm on my t-shirt, not my business casual, or I don't have a suit and tie on or whatever. And they often mention, if my children wander into the room, is it a problem? Well, no, it's not a problem. Everybody understands, and it could be kind of funny, actually. So, it just seems like there's been a relaxing of etiquette around these kinds of things, and everybody's trying to, doing their best to get along.
Definitely. I'm not an expert in the area, but I do teach remotely now. And I teach online, have all of my meetings, through Zoom and online. And the etiquette has changed, that's for sure. Before, it would have been unheard of for my kids to wander in during a class. And now I kind of try to integrate them. I know I've taught from my car, I've taught from my bedroom. We do anything we can because we're four individuals in a house here. And it's tricky to control all of the circumstances for a few hours while you participate in these meetings. So I think that, people are relaxing. I hear all kinds of stories. People are relaxing regarding, accepting kids in these situations. And I think that's hopefully that doesn't change a whole lot moving forward.
Yeah, just as to wrap up the interview, Tanya, I'm kind of interested in that. What's your take? And I know this is just your opinion, and it's not your area of research expertise, but what's your opinion on the changes that might come post-pandemic in terms of, continuing, everybody continuing to work online, some people continuing to work online, work from home using Zoom and so on. What's your take?
That's a great question. I hope that things will relax a bit. I hope that people can, I hope that the silver lining out of all of this, at least one part of it, is that people can maintain or achieve and maintain more of a work-life balance. So it's not balanced to be working from home with kids at home, but it is a balance if you can work from home and do a little bit of other things, during your breaks and things like that. So I hope that there is a bit of more of a recognition and integration of kids and family life into sort of the workplace, I guess, in some way. I hope that there's recognition that people have these extra pressures and that maybe we can relax a little bit in terms of the pressures that we do put on people at the workplace.
One of the things I've noticed is that people are talking about how their work day is stretching now, and the work week actually. So the employer says, look, I need X amount of work done, and I don't care if you get it done in over the course of 16 hours or 8 hours, makes no difference. I don't care if it's Sunday to Monday, Sunday to Saturday kind of thing, and which I think for parents would introduce a bit of flexibility to be able to work around the kids' schedule. What do you think?
It introduces flexibility and an awful lot of stress. I mean, welcome to academic life. That's what I've been doing for the past 10 years. But yeah, so it's great to have that flexibility, but also recognize that it does, people will then probably sleep less, right? It'll cut into other aspects and it just makes it more difficult. It would probably be better. I mean, I think individuals need to be asked what's reasonable, what can be expected of them at this time. And unfortunately, it's a bit stressful for everyone, but I think trying to maintain that balance and setting the bar lower for ourselves and for those around us would be a bit better.
Tanya, thank you very much. Really appreciate it, and enjoy your day out on the East Coast.
All right. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.